Well, you've probably seen the latest Top Gun movie where they show all the
Yes.
circuit breakers, and that is true. But they were set up. The circuit breakers were set up in panels, and there was a what I would call almost a rubric where you would be able to figure out. I'm going to pull circuit breaker 1 alpha 3. Well, that's the first panel. That's row alpha. That's the third circuit
Hmm.
breaker over. Now you did have to be a little bit twisty. Somebody described it one time as being a 7-year-old girl with a broken arm to reach some of these circuit breakers, but you got a little bit better. So that's kind of the behind you in the cockpit. Now in front of you, there's a couple of different things. The radar itself, AUG-9 was probably the biggest component on the F-14 with a lot of power out. So you would start the F-14 up and get the alignment going, start up the AUG-9, and then once airborne, if you wanted to test it out, you'd probably try and find, at least we did, airliners trying to land at Narita in
Oh,
Tokyo.
wow.
And we can find guys a pretty far way out. I'm
Wow.
talking over 100 miles. And so that shows you the power out that the AUG-9 had from an air-to-air standpoint. And so obviously you would have the AUG-9, and then the other component that made it an air-to-ground basically bomber was the lantern pod. And so you would practice running over different island chains south of Tokyo and doing different capture pictures of different targets that may be out there for you to capture with the lantern. So those were the two big things, the AUG-9 and the lantern on the cockpit. There's a whole lot of additional, I guess, systems within the F-14, both the A and the B and the D. Things like an ALR-67, which is a radar warning receiver, allows you to know if someone's targeting you or not. Certainly radios, everything from normal standard UHF radios to secure radios. An ALE-39, which is a chaff and flare dispenser. Whole lot of capability that really rounds out the rest of it, besides just being an air-to-air and air-to-ground. Also a little bit defensive, too, if you will, from a fighter standpoint.